Okay, so I'm loading up Wonder Draft. I love Wonder Draft and Dungeon Draft. And it takes a while to load up here. But this is the map I've been working on for Nulb. And what I do is I found a really good map online from another Dungeon Master that keyed it with numbers. So that's going to help me out a lot. So I'll show you, I'll do an overlay. And I'll turn it up 100%. And so this is the map I've been using. See how it goes up to number 54 on the map here. So 54 locations to key, and only 4 of them are keyed. By the way, about this map, numbered location 1 through 4 is not numbered. They're labeled. Boatman's Tavern, Nulb, Mother Scringe's Herb Shop, Smithy Stable, and Waterside Hostel. I numbered them on the Three Orcs World Amphil website for the Verbobonc Campaign Guide 576 Common Year. I'll turn down the opacity so I can barely see what I'm doing. I'm trying to scale this so it makes sense. The size of the buildings, the river, and the roads are placeholders. I'm going to hand paint the roads later, but right now I put these ones down just as a guide to see what I'm doing here. One of my problems I have is the Anna Meyer's maps from the Living Greyhawk series restructured the area completely, from the Village of Nulb down to the Village of Hamlet, to the Gnarly Forest, the high road and the low road. It's all different. It is not the same as it was in the box set or the T1 module or the T1 through 4 module. They've changed a lot. And the idea is to use the Living Greyhawk adventures to flush this area out. Think about it. You got a dozen villages and all these different organizations and geographic areas. None of that was flushed out before. Gary Gygax expected you to do it. Did any of you have time for that? I don't think so. Even us retired, it still takes hours, countless hours, hundreds of hours to do this. I've been doing this for 6 years, and you'll see on my website how much I've done already. It's good to have other DMs that know what they're doing to use their material for your campaign. This will save you a lot of time. A lot of details are a waste of time to work on. You don't have time to be working on minor things like the laws or a description of some unimportant thing. But it sure would be nice to be able to reference it really quick if you needed it at the time when running the game. I consider this mostly DM notes. And so while you're running the game, I also presented it to a way where you can actually reference it while running the game. You know, a lot of these articles are great to read. It's a lot of information, but they're almost impossible to reference at the game because of the way they're written and the way they're formatted. You'll see that in my articles I showed you before in videos I had in the past. But right now we have a problem with the roads. Those 2 roads to the west, the left ones, the bottom one is the high road and the upper one is the low road. I have them both meet before they get to Elmready's Run, before they get to that bridge. I thought that'd be more realistic, and it matches pretty much what Anna Meyer's map has. Now, you could have them both meet into town, crossing the river with their own bridges, but all evidence of this location has only one bridge. So I went ahead and converged those 2 roads that far away from the bridge because of the map. The edge of the map is right there, so I can't have them converge farther away without being on the map. I like to have things on a map. So logically, I put that crossroads there. And you finally get to the bridge and you cross it. The Elmready's Run is not navigable past that bridge. This is the stop where all the merchants take to get to Nulb, and they don't go any farther than that. So as you can see, they come from the north and they make their way south into this harbor of Nulb. And I still got to mess with the details, of course, and make this pretty, with a lot of bushes and trees. You know, we're not looking at that right now. I'm just looking at scale and positioning of these buildings. I made sure I used buildings that were more rough, more seedy looking. I didn't want to use anything too nice. To the north, you see there's supposed to be swampy area. Because if you look at the Anna Meyer's map, it's swamp all the way down to Nulb, adding more detailed swampy area to the north. Also, it added minor streams because that map had some. Those streams coming from the east, it would flow from the swamp. And so I got them flowing into the farm field areas, because that would be the low point. And that way the farms can get water. I thought that would be more organic and realistic. I'm not a city planner. I just try to go by common sense. These are not all the buildings yet, but these are the ones I placed so far. I need to go to each location and get that description of that location to make sure the building matches enough to represent that location. I noticed on the Anna Meyer's map, there's a road going northeast. It goes to Sobbenwich, in the middle of the gnarly forest. Just because you don't see it on the map doesn't mean it doesn't go there. If we have this road going south, you could say it wraps around as it leaves the map, off the map, like a mile down the road, all of a sudden it wraps around going back northeast again. I prefer to show that on the map. That way it's easy to reference, give you an idea of direction in the game when you're running the game, because it's so easy to look at a map and get an idea in your head, yeah, that road's going that way, rather than some vague idea that that road goes that way. Even though I could label that, put a label at the edge of the map, this road goes to Sobbenwich. The road on the left going south, that's supposed to go to the Temple of Elemental Evil. I'm going to make that more of a minor road, like a track, and overgrown. That'd be cool. To the south there, you can't see it on here for some reason, but to the south is the cemetery, which I have half done. I don't know why you can't see it on the screen. Let's see if I can't move it around for you. Oops. Yeah, I can move it around. There you go. I moved it around. To the south, you see those two roads. That middle road going south does wrap around more to the west. So it'll give you a visual idea that that road's kind of going that direction. And then at the edge of the map, I'll put a sign, a label going to Sobbenwich. This isn't set in stone. That's why I have Discord. So you guys can get on there with me as I work on it every day. We talk about this. Because what do you guys think? Does that road look right to you? People always reference the box set or the first module. I have to explain patiently that this is all based on Living Greyhawk stuff, and Meyer's map is based on Living Greyhawk stuff. I'm using those adventures to expand the campaign. You don't want to just run the Temple of Elemental Evil from the pages. You want an entire epic campaign around the module. It's kind of like Game of Thrones meets Temple of Elemental Evil. The players uncover the mystery of what's going on behind these bandit raids and the problems, the political tensions in the county. It gets more personal, more interesting if you do it that way, if you have the right players for that kind of campaign. Some players aren't into that kind of thing. They just want to have fun. They just want to have a fun night of dungeon massing and killing monsters. But this is the campaign I've been working on, a serious epic, like a sandbox, really. So the map to the south, the road going south, the one on the left is going past that cemetery there. That's probably going to be the Temple of Elemental Evil. The mayor of Nulb is along that path too, which I think is odd. I don't think that's a good spot for it. It's the bigger building to that road going to Sobbenwich. See that bigger building there in the south, on the south side? That's the mayor's mansion, Lady Lamag. And all the farms there are owned by her. The serfs work the land. And this is definitely a hive of scum and villainy, because most denizens here, if they're not farmers or tradesmen, they're pirates and bandits. So this is what I've been working on so far. I placed down some farm fields for now to get a feel for it. I don't know if there should be more. I want to show visually they're in the gnarly forest. So I don't want to keep the map open-ended. I want to see the forest around the edges to give you an idea this is a village in the forest. I know farmlands can be more expansive, but this isn't supposed to be 100% realistic. So yeah, that's where I am. I just want to do a quick review of what I've been working on. These locations are keyed on World Anvil, the Verbobonc campaign website. You can use those articles right now in your campaign, including the dozen other villages out there that I've already keyed. There's like 1,000 NPCs, dozens of organizations, churches and gods and races. That's all there for you to use in the campaign. What's great about this website is it's all referenceable, it's all linkable. That way you can use them in session reports, which is amazing. This epic campaign is so huge. It's got so much moving parts, so much going on, so many NPCs and locations. You can't expect players to keep track of all that, especially if you got them moving around a lot. Like I got my players starting at the city of Verbobonc, involved with one of the lords there, go on a quest for her, go through Penwick, all the way to the swamps. The first module I use from Living Greyhawk is called Noble Ambitions, and that sends them off to recover the treasury of House Osbury, past the Fens of Tor to the east. Then they head south, following bandit rumors, to the village of Hamlet, but at the same time, another character in the group got the quest for the Gift of Beauty, which takes them to Ostwerk. So they're wanting to get to Ostwerk. They don't know about the Temple of Elemental Evil yet. They have no clue. Nobody has a clue it's on the rise. Of course not. It's just bandit activity out there. adventurers are out there to make a name for themselves. And so as they get down there to the Village of Hamlet, they start getting involved with that, all those characters there, and they go investigate the moat house. Lareth gets away because they're too low level. You can't beat Lareth unless you're at least 3rd level. They're all 2nd level. The Ranger Knight Wynn of the Gnarly Rangers came and met them there and talked to the ranger of the group and convinced him to follow up on the Gift of Beauty, go south, pass through Sheer Knob to Ostverk to find out what happened to the gift because it's missing and never got to Selene. My players went all the way down and discovered Blackthorn Orc activity with some ogres and a few giants. They met a lot of fantastic, fascinating characters that they've come across. They lost a few NPCs along the way, very memorable ones. They had a lot of fun doing it. And now they're ready to head back, but Sheer Knob got attacked by a raiding party, Blackthorn and the giants. So that's happening. And then finally they're going to get back, as they get back to the Village of Hamlet, they got attacked by raiding parties from the Black Earth cult and the Air cult with vultures. They're coming from other outposts. So I'm not sure if the players are going to follow up on next. They might go take out some of these other outposts first before following up on these clues they've received to get to Nulb. So that's where we're at in the campaign. This is a quick overview. It's slow going because I ponder and move things around, make things more realistic as I go along. If you want to get involved, come on to Discord with us and we can talk more about it. And I had a new member arrive today, and he's asking about Littleborough, which is the halfling village to the west. He's running the Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign, and his players are going through there. So I think I agreed, as soon as I create the last 2 locations in World Anvil for Nulb right here, which is just a couple farms, I'm going to go ahead and start working on Littleborough, which is a really small village. So I can knock that out in a week. That way it'll be another town done. If you have any halflings in the campaign, there's only a couple locations they can come from in the Viscounty. One is from Littleborough, another one's from Humming's End, and which is between Sheer Knob and the Cron. Or you could say the halflings are from a small village in the Gnarly Forest, I believe. And also there's a lot of them in Haluna and Svirundi. So, but when it comes to the Viscounty, if you want to keep it simple, you want them to be from one of those 2 small towns. That way they can go home quick, get health, training, rest, whatever. So yeah, I hope you like what you see. Come hang out with us on 3 Orcs Discord. Check out my 3 Orcs Patreon if you want to support me more. I always offer these maps for free. The regular versions you can use in your game. If you want a higher resolution version that you can, big huge file that you can print up, I also offer those to members only on that website. You can just go there, hang out with us, and support me that way.
Did you enjoy video? Consider tossing support on my Patreon. It's best way to support orcs. If you would like to see more content, subscribe and post comments below. It better not be bad.
Thank you, and I'll talk to you guys later, but if those dice ever be lucky for you.